MTOL coming to you on behalf of Moorish Temple of Light out here in beautiful Coconut Grove, Miami, Florida. Out here in these streets, literally. Let my tassel hang. Alright. Someone asked me to do a quick review of a federal statute, 15 USC 1635, particularly subsections that this is a federal legislation, a federal piece of federal statute that I am reviewing, and that in all honesty, if you're dealing with a debt that has gone to collections, or even in the process of filing bankruptcy or in the process of bankruptcy, understand that like you're dealing with a matter that more than likely is over a certain amount. Like in the matter of this case, it needs to be heard by a federal jurisdiction or a federal venue, because they have subject matter jurisdiction and personal jurisdiction over the corporation, which is a foreign agency to the state in which you reside. Okay, now if you're not sure how all that pertains to you, give me a shout, put a comment in down below. You know, all that other good stuff. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Alright, comment. Alright, email me for questions. Alright, so in any case, understanding mortgage is defined by 1602 W of the Title 15 USC. You need to be familiar with that. Alright, and that within your state, and how I define a corporation as being a foreign entity to the state in which you reside or perform business in, you would also need to refer to its description or definition of state as defined in Title 15 USC sections 1635 subsection 11. Alright, now I was asked in particular to review sections B and F. Well, in order for me to comprehend or explain sections B and F, you must also of that title. Alright, section A, and I'm paraphrasing, like I just took little bits and pieces from the title that I reviewed. Alright, and subsection A is disclosure of obligors, which is the quote-unquote credit debtor. Obliger shall have the right to rescind until midnight of third business day following consummation of transaction or delivery of information and rescission forms required under section A in accordance with the Bureau. Clearly and conspicuously disclose in accordance with regulations of Bureau to any obliger, that's the debtor, under this section. Alright, so when reviewing section B and we're looking at the debtor's right to exercise their right to rescind under, my question is, are you doing it under section A of this title? Okay, if you are doing it under title or section A of this title, then continue to listen. Alright, so section B, the return of money or property following rescission, is only applicable to you if you are filing, or making a matter or expressing a matter before a federal venue under section A of USC sections 1635A. Alright, now moving on, in order to understand section F, we have to understand sections D, C, D, and E. Alright, so section C, it appears that the statement is required to be given pursuant to this section does no more than create a relatable presumption of delivery thereof. An individual party to the action has to state or express an objection to disclosure. Section D, the Bureau may provide or prescribe regulations authorizing modifications or waiver of any rights created under this section to the extent under the circumstances set forth in these regulations. Alright? Section E does not apply if does not apply to, excuse me, residential mortgages defined in section 1602. This is for the exemptions to the to a consumer's right to waive or exempt does not apply to a residential mortgage defined in section 1602W. 2 does not refinancing or consolidation of principal balance due and accrued and unpaid of the state is the corporation and agency of the state. Pre-existing open and end credit plans if a secured interest has been retained or acquired in accordance with previously established credit limit. F. Alright? The debtor's or obliger's right of rescission expires 3 years after date of consummation of transaction or sale of property, notwithstanding the fact that the information rescinded is based in whole or in part on any judicial review or period for judicial review thereof, which is later. Alright, so like even if you missed the 3-year time frame, you know, and here it is that you're dealing with a mortgage foreclosure, you know, 15, 16, 20, 30, 50 years later, enforce or invoke your right to rescind your signature from the contract on its initial contract with the original creditor. Alright, section G, alright, which pertains to any action a creditor has violated in addition to rescission. Court may award relief under section 1640 of Title 15 United States Code of Law. Alright, section H, you need to understand the rest of this in order to get section F. No rescission right if the debtor, the proper or appropriate form of written notice published and adopted by the Bureau and or comparable written notice of the rights of the obliger that is properly completed by the creditor. So no complaint and summons of, you know, that initiated the foreclosure on the mortgage of your property. Okay, and you examine the exhibits yourself, because, you know, I do specialize in assisting, you know, those individuals who are self-representing, all right, in pro se. Do not see any form of disclosure entered into the original contract with the original creditor, or even the creditor to whom the debt was transferred or assigned to, then your rights as a consumer foreclosure have been violated. Alright, so section H would pertain to you or would not pertain to you if the creditor did provide you a disclosure or some form of disclosure towards release from obligation. Alright, of notice of rescission for the transaction is not the appropriate form of written notice published and or adopted by a bureau or comparable written notice and otherwise compiled with all the requirements of this section regarding the notice. If that also pertains to you, then you also have the right to file your compelled jurisdiction. Alright, now if I didn't say it before, I'll say it now. I am not a lawyer, but I study law a lot. Alright, Prince L out here in Miami, literally in the streets with the cars driving by, planes going overhead. Don't volunteer your violations, alright, under federally secured consumer rights. Alright, it's your right, it's your obligation and responsibility to perform your due diligence and get actively involved. So once again, Prince L coming to you in the streets, let my tassel hang. Alright, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell all your friends. Alright, I'm out here helping the people. Alright, nationals, more indigenous people required through consumer and commercial means. Alright, meaning through whatever form of gainful employment they so choose. Alright, we breaking down these bricks legit. Peace and love.